statistical, mathematical fact
never has been down.
has broken every single record. There is no asset that has come close.
It's the only thing in the industry that was not touched, that was not hacked, and it never fails doing what it promised in 2009. It's never
What's
failed.
the best performing asset the world has ever seen? And you'll find out that it's
Bitcoiners,
Bitcoin.
traders, that's right, you can't get away from me. Another live session with Oliver Velez, of course. My name is Oliver Velez, and we're going to talk about our favorite topic today, Bitcoin again. That's right, again, guys. So come on in, make yourselves comfortable. All right, grab the beverage of your choice. We've got some tea on the way and some sparkling water here. Just want to check on the account, make sure everything's okay. Yes, everything is okay. All right, guys. Boom. Okay. So anyway, wherever you are in the world, guys, I don't know if it is still morning for you, afternoon, evening, but wherever you are in the world, welcome. Welcome to another live session with me. I'm doing quite a number of these because I feel that my time here is limited. For those of you who have been with me for just any small amount of time, you should be aware of the fact that what I'm doing here on X.com is really unsustainable for me, and it's gone on longer than I actually thought it would. But I promised that I would be here and dedicate my time to answering your questions, all of your DMs, making regular posts, and doing live sessions, in the spirit of helping my following sort of ride through this turn in Bitcoin back into a bull. And I started this here when we were in the throes of the bear market, and I realized that so many people that were relatively close to me from a following perspective sort of needed some guidance, so that they wouldn't freak out. So in that last part of the bear market, I've been here virtually every single day. I've helped many of you navigate your Bitcoin scenario and your stashes from the $20,000 range all the way down to the $16,000, $15,500 range, and all the way back up now to the $60,000 range. I also promised that I would do this on a regular basis until we reached 100,000. And after that, I'm gone. Now, a lot of people don't believe me, but I promise you, you'll see. I'm out. Okay, at 100,000. But one of my goals is to make sure that I have enough talking points, that I leave behind enough electronic footprints, enough posts, enough live sessions to be referenced forevermore in the future, for that matter. Now, it doesn't mean that I'm disappearing off the face of the planet or anything. Just here, what I'm doing here at this particular level is just very unsustainable for me. All right, I travel a lot. And I've got businesses, and I trade, and so forth and so on. As a matter of fact, speaking of trading, not a bad day today. Did some trading in NVIDIA today, grabbed $11,000 in the first 20 minutes of trading. And you know where that's going. The majority of that is going into Bitcoin. Guys, I trade on a daily basis. I trade with my team of traders, and I put as much as 80 to 90% of all gains on a daily basis right into Bitcoin. I trade for Bitcoin. I don't promote trading Bitcoin. I think that's stupid. I think that's dumb, for a variety of reasons. I've been a professional trader for the last 37 years. I've been trading markets for 44 years, if you count the developmental years when I didn't even know what I was doing. But professionally for 37 years, and I'm telling you, I've done the numbers every which way you can. All right. I was a professional NASDAQ market maker for many years. I did extraordinarily well on Wall Street. I became one of the most recognized and celebrated traders of our era. And I'm telling you, I'm telling you, people, that if I could do it, you don't think I would trade Bitcoin? If I could do it consistently over long periods of time, well, you don't think I would do it? Me, all right? I am telling you, I've done the numbers every which way but loose. It can't be done. You can get lucky. You can even have relatively decent stretches of success with it, but you can't do it consistently over time. And if you try, you will wind up. If you don't get wrecked, you will wind up with far less Bitcoin than you started with. The numbers don't work. I know how to do trading numbers, guys. All right. Four-decade trader. And I'm telling you that I can't do it. And trust me, I am as certain as night follows day every single day that you're not better than me. I don't care who you are, what you say. I'm sorry if that sounds egotistical, but you're not. And so if I can't do it, I know you can't do it. All right, enough of that. Trade everything else for Bitcoin. Don't trade Bitcoin. Trade everything else to acquire your freedom, Bitcoin. Don't trade your freedom back and forth for anything. All right? Okay. So what do I want to talk to you? Very brief today, guys. This is probably going to be one of the briefest live talks that I've had. And I just wanted to come to you to talk very briefly about market cycles. A lot of people who follow me here on X.com, they're not professional market participants. I largely deal with market participants, but here I know I don't really deal with that. So I thought it would be good to go over something that my traders consider relatively basic, but maybe it's not basic to you, and maybe you're unaware of these general market cycles that basically run consistently more or less year to year. And so I strongly encourage that you take something to write notes with. This, if you're not familiar with this, this is going to help you in ways that might be even incalculable. Okay. Okay. First thing I want to share with you is that there are pockets during each year that are statistically more bullish than others, and there are pockets that are more bearish than others, and there are pockets that are more back and fillish or sideways or choppy or non-committal. Okay. So I want to share those with you. And while nothing is 100%, nothing is 100%. And it's not like you can point to this every single year. But if you look at this over 10 years, the majority of those years, this will pan out. Not every year, there are exceptions, but the majority, every 10-year block, you'll see, wow, 7 times, 8 times, 9 times. All right, this time 6 times, whatever. But it's more than not. Okay. First fact, write this down. The most bullish 3-month period from an overall market perspective, and let's put at the center of markets the equity market, because that is the market that gets the most attention from the general public. So the most bullish 3-month period, consecutive 3-month period of the year is October, November, December. Mark it down. There is no 3-month, there is no string of 3 months other than those 3 that you can put together and find something more superior in terms of potential rise, potential upside than October, November, December. You got that? They're statistically the 3 most bullish months of the year. Okay. Okay. Now that you got that, what's the 3 most bearish months of the year? That's simple. Okay. It's really, we have to split some months here. Okay. It's really the latter part of July, August, September, and the beginning part of October. So we have to sort of, it's not a very clean monthy thing, really. It's not really clean. So if I were doing it very generally, I'd say July, August, September. But it's really latter July, August, September, first half of October. So October sort of split. Top half of October belongs more to the bearish category statistically. The latter part of October belongs more to that bullish period. All right. So you see what I'm saying. The 3 most bullish months of the year is really latter October, November, December, and sometimes it spills over into the beginning of January, but October, November, December. The most bearish, the 3 most bearish months of the year is really latter July, August, September, into the beginning of October. Now, the 3 most bullish months of the year are born out of the 3 most bearish months of the year. That should make sense to you. That the down is what produces the up. Let me know if you understand what I'm saying. A few people let me know here. I'm seeing your comments. I'm seeing some of your comments at least. Somebody let me know you understand that. The 3 most bullish months of the year exist because what happens first is the 3 most bearish months of the year. The 3 most bearish months of the year produce the 3 most bullish months of the year. You got it? You couldn't have that without the down first. And this is a theme that I'm constantly pounding the table, not only for my traders, but for you too. The down is necessary to have the up. It's just the way shit is. And all of you are freaking out about the down when that is what we need to have the up. You need to squat before you leap, right? Try to leap high without squatting first. It's all over fucking life. That squatting, you have to lose your life to gain your life. You have to squat before you leap. You have to pull a bow and arrow back before you can propel it forward. You pull the trigger of a gun back before the bullet can propel forward. You put a seed down first in the ground before it can grow up into a mighty oak. All over life, this is the way it is. We must have the down in order to have the up. And the down always comes first. You don't leap, then squat. You squat, then leap. And so the 3 most bearish months precede the 3 most bullish months. Why? Because the market's squatting. Okay? We squat latter July, September, August, September, into the beginning of October. And then we leap latter part of October, November, December, sometimes spilling over into January. All right, very important to understand. So if I am right, and I am, okay, I am right, then what are we experiencing now with Bitcoin? Is it abnormal? Should you be saying, what happened to Bitcoin? No, this is fucking normal. Latter part of July, weakness, August, more weakness, some weakness maybe in September. Coming out of that, that is all preparatory for blast off, as I've always told you, right before presidential election time. Every single time Bitcoin has a halving year, the blast off is right before presidential election time. What's right before presidential election time? The latter part of October. Presidential election date, November 4th. What kicks off the most bullish part of the year? The latter part of October. All the planets and stars are freaking aligning. And you guys are nervous. Bozo alert. Bozo alert. Now, when you really understand this, you start to use when the market squats late July, August, September, that's the squat before the leap. When you start to get really astute, you use the squat to really rack up, to beef up, to make your accumulation period healthy during that time. You see, the novice mindset is trying to escape that. Bozo. The professional is trying to grab that. Because what's next is what makes you wealthy. All novices, people who have zero sophistication about markets, no idea how to handle themselves, how to create wealth via market play, they're all trying to sidestep the downside. Whenever you see that, you can automatically think an L on the person's forehead. Loser. That is a novice loser's mindset, to escape the down. Whereas that you have, it's even in our folklore. You make your money when there's blood in the streets, not when there's green upside. When there's blood in the streets, you've heard that before. What do you think Warren Buffett means when he says, I'm a value investor? Is that fucking escaping the downside? Or does downside create value? Is he embracing the downside? It's in the freaking definition of what his approach is. I'm a value investor. Well, you can't have value unless you first have down. Down creates value. He's an embracer of the down. All successful market players are embracers of the down. They just have to be careful about choosing the right thing to buy on the way down. You see, that's where the skill comes from. Buy the wrong thing on the way down, and you will lose your life. You have to make sure that the thing you've chosen to buy on the way down is proper. But assuming that it's proper, and with Bitcoin it is, buying on the way down is being a value player, is being the Warren Buffett, applying the Warren Buffett style of trading. The Oliver Velez approach of counting 3 to 5, which I spoke to you in my live session yesterday. And if you don't know that technique, you really need that session under your belt, so that you can know what I'm doing and when I'm doing it. I explained it very thoroughly yesterday in my last live, the 3 to 5 approach. Okay? Let me speak a little more in more detail about the bearish period, the most bearish period of the year, late July, August into September. All right, September. Now, there are certain dynamics that help to accelerate this bearishness. First of all, it should be understood, and you should take notes on this, that August is the biggest vacation month throughout the world in financial markets. For instance, in Europe, no one's working in August. No one. In the States, what happens is that August becomes the lightest volume month, not every year, but most years, because that is the heaviest vacation month. And the latter part of August is the most bearish. Now, I'll explain to you why this is the case. A market does not have a life of its own, right? It's not like we use terms like the market went up, the market went down, but the market doesn't have a life apart from its participants. The life is actually the activity of the people playing the market. The life itself is derived from the participants. Take the participants away, and the market is just an empty shell. It doesn't move or do anything. So the life is actually the participants. Now, let's say in August, half of your participants disappear to go on vacation. How can the life of the market, how can the market be the same when its very life is made up of 100% of the participation? So when it has 100% of the participation, it has full life. When it loses half of the participation, it has a half a life. It's weaker. And so the loss of this participation makes the market thinner, which makes the market more susceptible to normal levels of selling. You see, selling every transaction is a buy and a sell. But what happens is that in this case, the sell side is heavier in influence because all of your participants aren't there in full force. So it's easier for selling to sear through support like a hot knife through butter because it's not as crowded. The butter is not as packed or thick or solid because half of your participants are gone. Now let's dig a little deeper into this. This is my worlds now I'm explaining to you, right? So not only on Wall Street do half of your professionals disappear in August, but in the latter part of August, the ones that disappear are the senior players. The first part of August is for the junior players. They must take their vacations in the beginning of August. They have to come back at the end of August to actually take the reins from the boss, from the big guy. The big guy does it in latter August into early September. The big guy is gone in the last 2 weeks of August, and he's not coming back until maybe the second week of September. That's the big guy. That's the boss. That's the one that really has the authority to make major commitments. But when that big guy leaves in the latter 2 weeks of August, he is leaving the control in the hands of his junior leaders, and they don't have the same authority to make big bets one way or the other. Their number one job is to maintain positions, to maintain the market, to maintain, not to add, not to subtract, but to maintain. This maintenance is what makes the market more susceptible to weakness, because they don't have the commitment to grab that weakness and add some support. They can only maintain. They're not the boss. They're not the big guys. The big guys are on vacation. And so you'll find, if you look at what Bitcoin did, the latter part of August is the weakest part of August. I mean, it came off the lows quite nicely, but that sudden drop, let me just try to show it to you if I can. What you'll see, right? Let's see if I can show it to you. Give me a second here. I'll get it. Okay. We can do it like this, right? So what you'll have, well, we had, so look at, so you'll see right when August starts, guys, take a look at this. Look at how perfect it is. August starts, well, we start falling here. Remember, the latter part of July starts the most bearish part of the year. And boom, we were rising right into the latter part of July. August starts in earnest, and boom, it's vacation time, guys. Thinner markets. Now, you follow what I'm saying? A few people let me know. You got this so far? Do you see it's like freaking clockwork, what I'm explaining to you. My traders have known this for decades, guys. Now you know it. All right? It's like freaking clockwork. Do you understand this so far? Are you picking up what I'm laying down? Yes? A few of you let me know. I want to see yes. I want to see at least one yes here. I like that. Doom before boom. That's cool too. The doom before. Okay, good. Good, Carl. Good. Now, let's continue with this, right? Let's continue with this. Excuse me. So, latter part of July, we start to see the weakness. Vacation times are hitting. Markets thin. Now, let me just say this. Now, what's really interesting regarding Bitcoin is so much more fascinating than other markets because it's 24 hours. And it is not run by a human being. It is not controlled by human beings. There's no start hours. There's no finish. There's no closing hours. There's no circuit breakers for the market stopping if it gets too nasty on the downside or too, boisterous, bullish on the upside. None of that. It is the freest market in the freaking world. And it's the only one that's global. There is no global market, people, except Bitcoin. And so it makes it so much more fascinating than all of the markets. Now, if you were to peer into these periods of weakness in August, there's several. What you will find is that they almost unilaterally, all of them start at the period of the 24-hour period that has the least amount of participants and has the least amount of liquidity. So it's like when most of the world is asleep and when the part of the world that's up is not really, that part of the world's really not that active with Bitcoin. And that's when you've got whale games going on and exchange games going on during these very light periods of these 24 hours where they wait for these periods and then gun for stops to pick up cheap Bitcoin. Exchanges want the fees. Exchanges are also taking the other sides of some of your bozo plays in the futures. your over leveraged bozo plays. So some of them are taking the other side. Some of the unregulated ones aren't even placing your trades. You don't have a real trade. That's called desk trading. When and it's probably in the fine print of some of these exchanges. We have a trading desk. We have a trading desk. You know what that is? That's code for we trade against you. Oh, we have a trading desk. We trade against you. What the fuck you have a trading desk for? To trade with you? No, you guys are losers. They have a trading desk to trade against you. And some of them go so far as don't even put the trade in. We have a system that makes it look like they did the trade, but that money's ours. We're going to stop them out. That money is ours. Some of these firms regard your deposit as their money. Oh, here's another account. He put $5,000 in, pocketing that. Well, what if he makes some trades? Doesn't matter. He's going to lose it anyway. Don't even bother doing the trade. And some of these unregulated places are doing that. Oh, yes. And some of them that placing the trades in these pockets, if they can utilize some of the Bitcoin they had to cause a cascading drop during one of these really light August periods where the participation is light, and all it takes is a few Bitcoin to, it's going to be done. All right. So August is more susceptible to that than any other month. Okay. Is more susceptible to those games than any other month. Now, let's go back to this. I want to continue with you so you understand this. Okay. Now, if we go forward, let's see here. It's the beginning of August. And we get this little pop to the upside here. And lo and behold, boom, around the same period of one of these 24-hour week zones. All right. It almost always happens during those times, guys. It's during the weakness. Okay. If I can, let me just see if I can do something here and show you. Let me just see if I can show you here. So I want you to look at the 29th. Okay. So this is the latter part of July. This is when it starts, right? So I want you to look at this. I want you to look at the specific time in relationship to the start. You see that? So 29 and just a little right around the beginning part of where this says 29. Okay. Now, take a look. The last dump, right? Take a look at where it starts. Right at the beginning. That's the weakest time. This is the weakest time. Now, sometimes you get the opposite effect. Remember, they can push it both ways, but what you'll find is that it's usually around the start. Look, this one got pushed this way.
And at the beginning of the next one, it got pushed this way. Look at close to the beginning of 16, you get pushed that way. Close to the beginning of 19, you get pushed that way. Close to the beginning of 21, you get pushed kind of down. You see, so that pocket of time is the weakest, and it's easier to push the market around during that time, especially in August, when your participation is already statistically low. Okay. Now, when you know this, you can use this as an advantage. All right. You want to come in during these. This is your Warren Buffett value approach, because we know late October, November, December is the most bullish part of the year. So you should be grabbing drops now to become wealthier by Christmas. Okay? And let me just show you this to show you that I'm not just making this shit up. Okay? I'm not making this up. Boom. Now take a look. This is every single month of Bitcoin's life from the very beginning. Let me just move myself out of the way here, so you, just in case you want to see. Remember, Bitcoin didn't have a price for about a year or what have you. But anyway, real price didn't start until the bottom there. And this is all of your prices every single month. Now, we're going to look at this in pockets, right? So what I need you to do, if I can do this here. I need you to look at, I want you to look at September. I want you to look at August and September. So look at August and September. Look at the amount of red boxes. Look at the whole row of August, all the years from 20 to 2024, all the way down to 2010. All right, now we don't have September yet, so that's why it's black up there. But look at all your September rows, all the way down from 2023, all the way to 2010, and see that there's a preponderance of red boxes versus green. So there's more red in August and September collectively together. All right. Okay. Now go to October and look at what happens. Look at all of your boxes and you'll see a flip from a preponderance of red to a preponderance of green in October. And even November, although there's a little more red, but still it's mostly green. And December, mostly green. Now, more specifically, guys, more specifically, you want to look at the halving years, because we are in a halving year right now. The halving years are the most significant years. The halving year and the year after. So the halving year is 2024 and the year after 2025. The halving year of last cycle, right? That was 2020 and then 2021. And then 2016 and then 2017. So we want to look at those 2 years. That's the most important period of the cycle. Okay? Well, that's hard to say, but that's the most bullish part of the cycle. The latter part of the halving year into the next year. Remember that. That's the most bullish
part of every 4-year cycle. The latter part of the halving year, October, November, December, into the next year. Okay? Now, let's look at all those periods during the halvings, the past halvings. All right? Let's take a look. So, we've got 2012. 2012 was an interesting scenario because it was the first halving. So if you look, this even had bullish Julys and August. So this was sort of an exception here. It had a down October in 2012, but then November and December were up years. And then the following year, it followed into the next year. Remember, it's late year halving year. So last two boxes, let me just do it like this. Last two boxes of 2012, green, and then the first several boxes of 2013. Boom, 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 boom. Wow, powerful. Okay, let's go to the next halving. 2016. Now let's go to late year. Look at July, down. Look at August, down. All right, this one probably had a late September surge. It was probably down for some of September and then came back late September 2016. Now look at the rest of the year. Late year, halving year. Boom, boom, boom. Now go to the beginning of next year, the following year, 2017. All right, up marginally, up again. But look at the rest of 2017. It's just a freaking monster. All right. Now let's go to the next halving, 2020. Let's go to late year. August was mildly up. September was down, setting up the most bullish period of the year. October, November, December in 2020, big months. We spill over into next year, 2021. Boom, boom, boom. All right. Now let's go to this year's halving. Late year, down August, maybe down September, maybe up, maybe down, maybe flat, setting up the period of the most bullish period, October, November, December, into January, February, and maybe March. Market takes a little breather after that sometimes, and then roars back again late year, the year after the halving. And so, guys, knowing your cycle can keep you from being a freaking idiot. Do you understand? Because some of you guys are acting like idiots out there. Talking about what's happening with Bitcoin. Maybe this time is different. The cycle might be over. Should we pack it in? Like, this is bullshit. You don't know. You have no sense of history. Guys, history is the only thing we have. I always get this, Oliver, history is no guarantee. Why do their heads move like this all the time? Oliver, history is no guarantee of the future. That. I know that, you freaking bozo, but it's the only thing we have. If you don't use history, then what are you using? This? Flipping a coin? It's the only thing we have to use. So stop saying that. If you're not using history, you're a freaking gambler. Period. So we use the historical cycles to kind of come up with a framework for what is statistically likely to follow. And if history is any guide, and it is, History's telling us that this is freaking normal. The weakness now is normal. Maybe there's additionally more weakness in September. Maybe, maybe not, but likely. But this is all your period, the best period for you to beef up, because October, November, December, and into next year is coming. All right. And it's all here laid out for you. It's all here laid out for you. This is Bitcoin's entire history. Look at the month of February. Are you kidding me? 15 years. Look at the month of February. Crazy. All right. So I wanted to share with you these broad cycles so that you know where you are. And I think it's perfect timing, because if I can change your perspective from being fearful to being aggressive, this is aggressive time. It's not, oh, back up, I don't know, but I think Bitcoin is, something's wrong with it. And oh my God, how can anyone think that something's wrong? What the heck? Give me a second here, guys. What the heck is this? All right. How can anyone think that something's wrong with this? Like, I don't get it, man. The noviceness is so, oh my God. Like, how how can someone look at this and think something's wrong? What? Are you kidding me? Like, what world are you living in? Like, oh my, what world are you living in? Let's just look at it closer. What world are you living in? Like, oh, wait, but Oliver, what's happening to Bitcoin, Oliver? Look at that. What's happening to it? Oh my God, I'm scared. Oliver, I'm scared. Oliver, I'm scared. I'm scared, Oliver. That's crazy to me. Oh, you're scared. You're scared of that, huh? Really? Scared. Scared of that. All right. I'm not finished with the cycles yet. I will be shortly. I will be shortly, I promise. So, what's next? So, I've told you the three most bullish, October, November, December, is preceded by the three most bearish, late July, August, September. Okay. And I've already explained that you go to work, you get real busy during the weakness, and you sit back and enjoy during the strength. Your gains are made in the bear, not in the bull. You see, you can't get wealthy just focusing on the bull. Life doesn't work that way. It doesn't. You can't get the tree growing unless you also first deal with putting the acorn in the ground. In first, in the darkness. Under the ground is break even, under break even. You got to go under first. It's just you can't get the up without that. So people who understand that will use these weaknesses for what comes next. Now, what's the most bullish month of the year statistically? Now, for Bitcoin, it's a little different. It appears as though February. In equities, statistically, I would say Aprilish, May. Okay. So they kind of that 30-day period bridges April, May statistically. It appears as though for Bitcoin, February is at least the most consistently up. So a single 30-day period is different from what's the most bullish 3-month period. But if we were to pull out, if we pull out 30 days at a time, where does that one fall? And that's usually different. That's in another part of the year. Okay. So Bitcoin appears to be February. In the equity market, it's more like April-ish, May. And this makes sense in the equity market because many of you have heard sell in May and go away. You sell into that strength. And the summer doldrums is sort of like the waffling time. Not every year, but the summer usually waffles and then starts dipping August, September. Okay. Excuse me. Now, I would like you to understand, what's the most bearish month of the year? It is actually September from an equity perspective. So I would say from Bitcoin's perspective, so from an equity perspective, September is by far the statistically the weakest month of the year. Now, from equities, a lot of people think October is the worst month of the year for equities because many of your most serious bear market crashes have occurred in October. But October gets a bad rap because of those crashes, which don't come very frequently. We're talking about what happens more consistently than not. It's actually September. Okay. And so it appears as though for Bitcoin, the most bullish is February. Equities is April, May. The most bearish seems to be in September. And for Bitcoin, that's a good question. What is it? I haven't looked at these things actually. It doesn't matter when it frickin' happens for me. I'm just buying it anyway. But let me see here. So if we look at this, I can take my glasses off. No, I don't think so. So if we look at this, yeah, this looks like September. It really does look like September. Yep. So Bitcoin and equity markets are mostly September, that August, September. February is just straight up gangster bull. Straight up gangster bull for Bitcoin. And from a single month's perspective, right? Okay. I want you all to understand that this is a general truth for whatever reason, not just in markets, but all of life. The middle is the softest in everything. The middle of your body, for a lot of people, that's the softest part of your body, right? The middle of the trading day is soft. The middle of the year is soft. Do you understand? What's the middle of Bitcoin's 4-year cycle? Bear market, soft. The middle is soft. Just remember that. Just write that down and remember, just the middle of everything is soft. Okay? It's the bookends. It's where the real action is the bookends, but the middle soft. Sell in May and go away. They're escaping the softness. You understand? The middle of the year softness. That first bookend, January through May, That's the first bookend. That's the left one. Then the softness in the middle. And then October, November, December, that's the final bookend. So we play the dominant periods are the bookends, and in the middle, it's softness. My traders understand that we trade the first 90 minutes of the trading day. If you're going to trade all day, the first 90 minutes and the last 90 minutes of the equity market, that's the most vibrant. And that's where 80% of your opportunities are going to come from. The bookends. The middle is soft, lack of follow through, a lot of backing and filling, backing up and down, a lot of sound and fury signifying nothing. So this is another general concept you should be aware of. The middle is soft in almost everything. All right. Thank you, Eddie. Thanks for all your advice and wisdom that helps block out the noise. I appreciate that. Thank you. All right. What's a 13 percenter? I will post that for you. I've explained that at least 20 times, but you might be new, but that's okay. I'll post it for you. I'll post the answer. So when are we going into bear market? Well, based on history, all right, your bear market comes at the end of the year after halving. So let's take a look at that. So the year after halving for us is going to be the end of 2025. The year after halving last time was the end of 2021. The year after halving the prior time was the end of 2017. So let's take a look at that. Let's see if that holds up, right? Let's see if that's theory or that's real. All right, let's take a look at it. All right, bear markets in Bitcoin. Let's take a look. We're going to go to a weekly chart. It's the best time frame to look at those types of things. And you're going to say, when was the last halving? 2020. All right, so your last halving was here. Let's take a look at it. Wait, let me just make sure this is visible enough. Good. Let me take this mark off here. And the last halving, check this out. But this, guys, this just cuts through all the bullshit out there, right? I don't want to do this. Okay. So 20, I don't want that. So 2020, more or less. Right? So more or less 2020. And when does the bear market start? We'll take a look. Now, when does that bear market start? Well, I'll show you. Late 2021. The year after the halving. Okay, let's go to the next one. All right, let's go to the prior one. The halving took place when? 2016. Okay, so here is the halving, 2016. Right. Oh, shoot. Did I mess that up again? Give me a second here. So, I hate these things here. I'll just do it with the marker. So 2016, let's not lose that. It's here. And then the year after the halving year. So the next year's 2017. Let's go all the way to the end and look at what you have. Almost every single time. So going by history, we don't have to worry about a bear market hitting until we're in the year of the halving, right? This is the year of the halving. The halving took place April, right? More or less. Now, next year is 2025. The end of next year is here. So let's just say this breaks out. Boom. See where I'm getting at, guys? But Oliver, but Oliver, history is no guarantee. Past results are no guarantee of future results, Oliver. Yeah, I know that, Bozo, but if you see something happen every single time, do you bet the opposite? No. That's being a freaking idiot. It's happened like this every time. But Oliver, this time could be different. Dude, listen. Monday always follows Tuesday. I'm betting every Sunday that Monday's next. That's it. I've done well with that. I have witnessed my whole life. Monday comes after Sunday. Every single time. But Oliver, this could be different. Nope. I'm betting every Sunday that Monday's next. You understand? Every halving until it breaks, every halving, I'm betting top comes late the next year. The last part of the bull market really kicks off latter couple of months of the halving year, October, November, December. Every single time, I'm betting that way. And every time we've got weakness in August, September, I'm gobbling like the freaking Cookie Monster in preparation of late year into the next year, all the way to the end of the year. Now, this doesn't mean that I will be selling. I don't sell Bitcoin. All right. But I will then do my counting, which I explained to you yesterday, did I not? I explained this yesterday, right? We do our counting. Let me quickly do that again for you bozos that didn't want to take the time to watch my live yesterday. We go to the 4-hour chart, the 4-month chart, and you just count. Sorry about that. And you just freaking count. Can you count to 5? If you can, you're going to be okay. If you can count to 5, you're going to be okay. So, late year, all right, late year 2021, you count 3, you wait for 3 reds to occur, right? You wait for 3 reds to occur. So what are they? 1, that's neutral. 2, 3. Now start accumulating. Even if there's more, just keep accumulating, accumulate, accumulate, accumulate. All right. Late year after the halving, you count three red, three red. 1, 2, 3. Start accumulating. All right. Late year after the halving, count three reds. 1, 2, 3. Start accumulating. That's how you get wealthy doing this. Don't let go. You just add and add. And these ads will turn you into whales on the next run. Do you understand? Letting go won't do that. But keeping and stacking more, stacking more, stacking more in the latter part of the see the 3, 4, and 5, if you get it, bars 3, 4, and 5. Sometimes you only get bar 3 down. Sometimes you only get bar 4 down. Sometimes you get 3, 4, and 5 down. But this is what catapults you and your family to being set for life. This is what catapults your family from being set for life. And I know some bozos out there are going to say, but Oliver, why not sell here and then do your count? No, because you'll sell here and then start the count and then it'll go here. You understand? Nobody knows where the top is. And anybody who tells you they do know, well, there's only really one group of people that I've ever come in contact with. Special people. They're the only ones who have always consistently known where the top is. They're fucking amazing, these people. These people have picked the top, especially in Bitcoin, in the past cycles, every single time, with an accuracy that is out of this world. Only one special group. You know what they're called? Liars. They're the only group that knows where the top is and always sells the top perfectly. That's the group. Now, aside from that group, it can't be done. It just can't be done. All right. All right. Okay. I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. That's a good question. When we look at this chart, I think what Carl is saying, we look at this chart, do we ever really have bear markets? From the global perspective, no. Because every high is higher and every low is higher. From a shorter term perspective, you do. I mean, something that drops 80%, you have to assume that that's a bear market, right? So it depends on your perspective. But to me, it's a matter of degree. So my traders, as an example, they know that if something runs up like this, right, and they got in here, if this was powerful, if this run was powerful, if this run was powerful, this run to the upside was powerful, they entered here and enjoyed this run. If that's powerful enough, this next drop is buyable. As long this drop is buyable for your next leg. If this drop wipes out the prior drop, you see, now the rally is sellable because it has eliminated the strength to the left of it. So what you'll find in Bitcoin is that it doesn't do that. It has the power. I'll do this with a different color. It has the power and then the weakness is there. It has the power, and then the weakness is there. It has the power, and then the weakness is there. It has the power, and then the weakness is there. It doesn't ever, or has not ever, eliminated its prior strength to the left. It's never done that. And I believe that it won't, just because of what happens in the halving. It makes Bitcoin more scarce and more desirable. And as long as demand is rising, and we know that it's going to rise for decades upon decades upon decades. So as long as demand is rising and supply issuance is shrinking, you have a dynamic that almost mathematically prevents the pullbacks from wiping out the strength that occurred to the left of it. All right. So I don't know if that answers your question. I hope that adds some clarity. Buying the top forever. Boom. Me too. How can you be protected during the bear market? You mean, all right. So I have mixed feelings about this question, right? Because it's bridging intelligence and what I consider to be not intelligence. But I can understand where it comes from. So that's not your fault. But what I'm saying is, most people still, remember I started this conversation telling you that the novice mindset wants to escape the pullback, wants to escape the down. Whereas that the professional mindset is, I want to grab the down. Because after the down is up. I can't wait until up, because I'll be chasing. So I need to grab the down where I'm not chasing. Right? So why would you want to protect yourself from that? You want to dive into that after 3, right? I just explained that. Now, that's where it seems silly to be saying, after everything I explained, why would you want to protect yourself from that instead of dive into that? But on the other hand, it's like, okay, Oliver, if we're not going to sell on the way up, is there a way to hedge a little on the way down? Yes. Yes. Now, that is not something that I speak about very frequently here, and I won't. It is something that my traders and I do. And this upcoming cycle, the hedging is exponentially more available with MicroStrategy. You can hedge by shorting MicroStrategy and keep your fucking Bitcoin. Because MicroStrategy is going to drop more than Bitcoin. So you might even make money. You might even not even experience negativity if you get that pair right. Short MicroStrategy, stay long Bitcoin. The fall in MicroStrategy is harder than the fall in Bitcoin. So you're ahead, right? But options, the NASDAQ is bringing options on the Bitcoin index. You've got the ETFs out there now. I mean, there's going to be dozens of ways to kind of hedge yourself on the downside if that's what you want to do. That doesn't come without risk, though. But for those who are somewhat knowledgeable about market play, definitely, all right. But most people won't be able to do that. Most people will fuck that up, I'm telling you. All right. What are my thoughts regarding ultimate cycles having greater gains, i.e., 2024 more akin to 2007 and 2020 more like 2000? Well, so I think what you're asking is, what are my thoughts about the possibility that we don't have diminishing returns this cycle? Well, yes, of course. As dangerous as it is to say this, but I've said it many times. This is different. Bitcoin has had its IPO. So nothing is ever really the same in markets after post IPO versus pre IPO. So in a sense, Bitcoin had its IPO, meaning its birth onto the world really happened in 2024. The pre-IPO, the pre-birth period was from when Bitcoin came into existence, was discovered, all the way to 2024. So the way I look at it is the way a baby is born. A baby is conceived first, and it is protected from most or many of the outside forces during a period of time that it is allowed to grow and gain some resistance capabilities, more strength, sturdiness. That's the 9-month, more or less, period where a baby is basically being prepared to be leashed onto the world. The first 15 years or 14 years or so complete, because we're in the 15th year now. So the first 14 years is akin to the 9 months of a baby in a womb getting stronger and getting itself prepared and growing by orders of magnitude. You start off with something unrecognizable to something with a big freaking ugly head, and you see the arms and the fingers, and this thing is like a freaking monster compared to how it started. That's Bitcoin over 14 years. It started like, look at how it started. Freaking little tiny freaking dot, zero, to look at this thing. Look at look at how it freaking started. When it started to gain a price. Just look at this shit, right? Little tiny dot. Wah, 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 wah. This Bitcoin's little tiny baby right there. Wah. And then it freaking grows into this massive, by orders of magnitude, something very different from its start. But it is the beginning of 2024 that we can honestly say that Bitcoin has been leashed onto the world, born. And it is now open to everyone. And because of the spot Bitcoin ETFs and, your Larry Finks of the world. And it's not that Bitcoin needs that. It's just that those are markers. Those are markers. And so I believe history will look back on 2024 being a very special, pivotal point for Bitcoin. Good talk today? Yes? No? Maybe? A little bit? All right, there we go, guys. All right, so listen, enjoy the rest of your day. You know what to do? Go to work. Go to... All right, ciao for now. I'm going to hit the gym. Boom! Boom! My name is Oliver Velez, and I am your 13%er Bitcoiner. Be safe out there, and until next time. Boom!